Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome to our APPNA Advocacy Committee today on visa guidance. This is another webinar in a series of webinars that the APPNA Advocacy Committee will be conducting throughout the year. We continue with Central APPNA's mission of promoting healthcare-related advocacy topics. My name is Dr. Samina Qureshi, and I chair APPNA's Advocacy Committee. Today, I'm joined by two of my colleagues who have graciously offered to conduct part 2 of this webinar on visa guidance. As some of you may know, we have already conducted part 1 of visa guidance webinar on August 1st. Due to high demand and we just ran out of time, we were not able to sort of accommodate everyone's question and answers. So we got lots of requests, and therefore we're conducting part 2 of today's webinar today. You can access part 1 as well as all of our APPNA Advocacy Committee webinars, which help international medical graduates, on YouTube under APPNAtube, APPNAtube. So you can go ahead and review all of the things. They may be helpful to you on part 1. So today, without going into too much detail, because everyone knows, and Dr. Muhammad Fateh Shahzad needs no introduction. He is an internist practicing in Kentucky and the advisor to the APPNA Advocacy Committee. He's better known as the Chat GPT of all things related to international medical graduates. As well, I'm joined by my very gracious colleague, Dr. Haroon Burhanullah. He's double board certified and currently a faculty at Johns Hopkins University. And with that, I'll turn it over to him to moderate the rest of the Q&A.
Good morning, everyone. I would like to just jumpstart and start with the question. The first question that was posted. So Dr. Shahzad, this is a question, and this is an anonymous attendee. Had two questions. I had a couple of questions regarding the new J1 rule that is coming into effect. Will we need to get our J1 visas re-stamped at a US consulate because of the new rule? Or will our existing visa stamps remain valid? And what about the new DS? DS question mark. And they are giving their brief, like their PGY1 and my J1 visa is valid until June 2027. If I plan to travel internationally in December 2026, would I be able to travel and re-enter the United States using my current visa, or would I need to take additional steps before traveling?
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you, Dr. Samina and Dr. Haroon, for joining this webinar, and welcome to all the participants. Very particular question, very pertinent question, question of the time. So the new J1 rule will apply starting September 15, but ECFMG has started issuing new J1 as well as J2 DS 2019 if needed. Now the new J1 is going to be valid for 4 years. So the validity for new DS 2019 will be for 4 years. But you will still get the visa for 1 year if you apply on that DS 2019. First part of the question, that whether their current J1 is valid. Yes, the current J1 is valid. You can travel on that. If you get a new DS 2019, keep both DS 2019 with you and get it travel validated when you travel outside United States. You do not need new visa, even though if you have a new DS 2019, as long as you have the same employer. So that's very important. Now, if you change the program and then get a DS 2019, and then your J1 is going to be needed if you travel outside, because now your employer has changed. If you're in the same program with new DS 2019 with validity of 4 years, you can travel as long as your J1 is valid. And you can come back without restamping. Now, when do you need restamping? First of all, you're going to need restamping if you travel on expired visa. So you're going to have a new visa stamp. Now, some people ask me question, what if I travel in May or June or end of April? I recommend that then you should go and get your visa stamped and use new J1, get a new J1 on DS 2019. Although the new DS 2019 validity is for 4 years, but the embassy will still issue you visa for 1 year. Now, What happens if you stay here for 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and 4 year, like neurology program and another specialty where your training is more than 3 year, or you go in fellowship after internal medicine, and your J1 is 4 year old, then you cannot continue to work on new DS 2019. You will need to get new J1 visa stamp from your home country. So that's unfortunately, when I have meeting with Department of State, they are thinking about limiting J1 and DS 2019 every year. So you have to have visa stamp every year, even though your DS 2019 will be valid. The reason they're giving 4 year DS 2019 to reduce the work on ECFMG and the Department of State, because when you apply for the CV's ID, you fill the CV's application, the process starts. So then DS 2019 is issued by Department of State, is transferred nowadays electronically to ECFMG, then transferred electronically to the program, then transferred electronically to the applicant. So that's like 4 or 5 steps. Now, if it is going to be 4-year validity, so they will have to print only once, unless again your employer change.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Dr. Shahzad. So there's another student who asked, they have their visa interview on September 4th. Previous application was denied, refused in May. And at that time, they had 3 observership letters for July. Observerships, it shouldn't say letters, but observerships scheduled for July to September and had a valid step 3 permit. By the time of the interview on, the September 3 eligibility period have expired, and they've said that I have not updated any observership letters. How should they proceed? I think they should get a new. I'll leave it to you, Dr. Shahzad.
Yes, you are ready. You are heading to the right direction. Yes, they need to get a new new letter from the same preceptors or anyone else. If they don't issue it, it's not that hard. You just politely request that because my visa interview is in September, kindly just change the dates. That's all they need to do. Change the date and send you back, and you will definitely need a new permit or new date for step 3 if you are going to mention step 3 in your visa interview. Now, don't do that. I'm going to just mention the observership letter, and then I come and do step 3. You should not do that. So if you're planning to do step 3, get a new date and get the permit and then go for visa interview. Without permit, without date, do not mention about step 3 and do not do step 3 while you are here. Respect whatever you say during interview, whatever you request on DS 160, which is visa application, because there are serious consequences. I get call every day. Even this morning, I got a message. Somebody said that my validity for visa on I-94 is 6 months, but I came for 1 month for step 3. Can I stay longer? Answer is no. If you're allowed only 1 month and there's annotation, respect that. That is very strong kind of order from this Department of State that do your work, which is step 3, do your observership in the same state as mentioned. So sometimes people ask me question, I had observership in Texas, but this canceled, can I go somewhere else? Answer is no. Find observership in the same state which is annotated on the visa stamp. This is very important. Do not even look at I-94. It will always say 180 days. So just do whatever you requested in DS 160 and whatever annotation is on the visa stamp. Other question I get is regarding port of entry. Like this morning, I had a question that I was supposed to enter from this, but my flight changed. You can enter from any port, from any airport. You can enter from land, from airline through airlines. That's not a problem. As long as your final destination is as annotated on the visa stamp, you're fine to land anywhere. Meanwhile, travel from one part of United States to other part, Even you can visit some family member if they live in a different state, but make it short, brief visit.
Okay. So there's another question. Hello, doctor. Following up on the J1 DS rule, wondering if a research position for 1 to 2 years before residency is still a viable option on J1 research? Question mark. Would this limit the years of converting to J1 clinical? So they're trying to say if they can get a J1 on research position before the residency.
Yeah, I think the new rule is coming that they are going to limit J1, like H1 is for 6 years. J1 kind of goes up to 8 years, but I think it is in the process of limiting it. So do not do research on J1 for more than a year. Up to a year, you're okay, because J1 validity or total duration of J1 may reduce to 6 to 7 years. So that will count against you.
Okay. Now this is a pretty, this is a question that usually some people have also asked me, but I'll ask you, Dr. Shehzad. So my question is, I have received one visa, but I'm not prepared for 1 month visa, but I'm not prepared for step 3 fully. So my question is, should I go to the US and come back without giving step 3, or should I apply again and then get another appointment and ask for extension of my visa for the month of October? Or should I go to the US and stay on the basis of I-94 in US after visa expiry?
I do not recommend coming to US and get extension. Unfortunately, they are not going to do it anyways. So do not request. If you have extra money, you want to come and visit and go back, you can do that, but I will not recommend that. It's simple. You're not ready. Just let it go and reapply for visa and go for interview, pay your visa interview fee. And if the officer asks why you did not go, that just any circumstances, say that the circumstances were not good, my plan changed, so I did not go. It does not go against you. Actually, it goes in favor of you that you already had a valid visa and you didn't use it. So if your intent was to go US and not come back, you should have jumped on the plane and not come back. So it's not a red flag. It doesn't go against you. But if you go and don't do what you're supposed to do, like step 3, and come back, and then go back again, say, I want to go for step 3, they're going to say, you had a visa for step 3, why you didn't do it? And then you might have a problem to get a visa for step 3 again. So just don't go.
Now, there's someone whose B1, B2 visa was rejected in July, and they've applied again on the basis of step 3 and observership. So the question they're asking is, how do they mention that they have ties to the country? Number one. The second question is, if they're asked how to answer this question, will you apply again this year? And they answered yes, they will apply. And the third question is, why were they refused last time? How to answer these questions?
Yeah, we'll divide into 3 parts. The first part is that ties. So, because if you're a student, just a fresh graduate, you might not have many more financial ties unless you belong to a wealthy family. So you might not have a property, you might not. So for young doctors, the best thing is your PMDC license, that's a tie. Second is having a job, that's a tie. Third is having some family responsibilities, elderly parents, single mother, or anybody else who is ill or sick that you're taking care of, or you're sole responsible for the care. And if you're married, your spouse, or if you have a child, those are the ties that you can mention in a visit visa. Now, the question they ask about sponsorship, anybody can sponsor you for your visit to USA, which can be 2 months, 3 months. And you really don't need more than 10 lakh rupees in your account for visit for 2-3 months. About who can sponsor you, anybody in your family, any friend, anybody outside Pakistan. Some people have family in Dubai, in Qatar, in Saudi Arabia, or even if you have a sibling or uncle not in USA, that's not a red flag. They can sponsor you. What you need is a letter from that person that person is giving you this much amount of money. Then you should have documents to prove that person has a source of income, can be salary, can be rental income, and then that money should be parked in an account in Pakistan or wherever they live. So those are very important, that there should be personal letter or affidavit from that person, source of income for that person, and that source of income money going to that account that they're going to use to give you money. Now, I usually recommend that when you're doing your visa interview, you tell that I have done house job, or I'm doing tutoring, or I'm working as a medical officer. I have saved some money, which is not enough, but my brother was kind enough to loan me money for this trip, and whenever I'm able to return, I will return. This shows that you're a responsible person and you're not a burden on somebody else, like even your parents. I mentioned many times that the US culture is different. So these people who are coming from US to interview visa applicants, they are raised in that culture where kids after age 18, they're not getting any help from their parents. So they have the same mindset. So if you say that I'm 26-year-old, I'm a doctor, I'm getting money from my mother, it seems a little bit odd. So just phrase in a way that you look like you are responsible, have a self-respect for yourself. And another part of the question was that if your visa was refused, how to navigate that. If you know why your visa was refused, then you just tell that, I did not have that document. That's why officer did not issue me visa. If you don't know that what was the reason, just simply say, in my opinion, I was not able to satisfy the visa officer during my interview. He did not give me any specific reason, but my interview must not be up to par. Don't blame the visa officer. Don't say, oh, she was in a bad mood. Okay, so she had a bad day. Don't say that. Simply say that, I was not good enough to convince that visa officer. There was a third part of question, whether you will reapply. I don't understand reapply means for visa or for residency.
Residency.
Okay, that's a very tricky question because B1 is a non-immigrant intent visa. So if we show that my intent is to use this visa for future job or future stay in United States, officer is obliged to reject your visa. So the way you deal with that if you say why you want to do this observership, or why you want to do, simply that I'm working as a medical officer, US is the best healthcare system, I want to understand US healthcare system, I want to learn from US healthcare system, how they treat patient, how they talk with the patient, how they document their charts, and then I'll come back and apply that knowledge to enhance my patient care. So that should be very politically correct answer. Sometimes officers do ask you directly, and he or she knows that you have done step 1, 2, step 2, 1, 3, you're doing observerships, your goal is going to residency. So if they ask you, do you plan to apply residency? So your answer is going to be, like most of other doctors, I have a dream, I have a no specific plan, but I have a dream. If I get an opportunity to get training in the United States, I would love to do that because US has the best healthcare system. But right now, I'm focusing on my house job, my job as a medical officer. I have some family obligation, and I have a permanent license to practice in Pakistan, and I'm doing private practice. Whatever you're doing, and you just tell the officer that this is going to be a short trip, and as soon as I'm done, I will be coming back.
Okay, great. Next question is from Najaf. I'm a final year medical student. I have 2 rejected B1, B2 for electives. The officer first time mentioned that I don't have a university-based rotation. And the second time around, when I had the university-based rotation letter, my visa was still rejected, although the officer did not mention the reason. But I feel it was because of delay in step 1 results because of the transition in format. So next time when I will be applying for observership, should I still go for university-based rotation, or a clinic rotation works for the observerships?
Sure. So these days they're very strict about electives. Hardly anybody got visa for elective, and only if they had elective scheduled in a university program with a residency training program. That's must. So you're going to do elective where American medical graduates do their elective. So if you go to clinic or a community hospital with no residency program, you are not going to get visa. That's for sure. Now, even if you have a university letter, like second time, most likely you will not get visa also for elective, because you really don't have ties. You do have ties that you have to complete your education, but having a PMDC license these days is a big plus for visa purposes, for visit visa. Even for J1 visa, they're asking if you have a permanent PMDC license. So I'm away from the current question. Please do your house job and get your PMDC license. It is going to be very helpful in future. Second part of the question, whether I go for observership and I go for B1, do I need to have a letter from university? No, you can, if you have a university letter, that's well and good, but clinic letter will be good enough for observership, because most of young doctors do observership in clinic, and it is not a requirement by Department of State that they have to have a hospital-based observership. You can do clinic observership as long as that you have a letter on the letterhead pad. You have specific mention that who are you, who's the person writing a letter, where it is, for what time to what time, and what you will do. And make sure you tell them that not write it, we provide any accommodation or food or transportation, or will be allowed to look at medical records or have hands-on training. So these are big no's, that accommodation, lodging, transportation, accessing medical record, writing on the charts, examining patient. These should not be in your invitation letter. And it should not be on your LOR also for your future J1 visa.
Okay. My husband's J2, this is another question from Kinza. My husband's J2 has been approved, but his DS 2019 has not been signed. Will this cause any issues with his travel or admission to the US? Question. And then when I initially entered the US, I was living at a different address. I have since moved to a new address, but I have not updated my address with ECFMG. My husband's DS 160 also lists our previous addresses. Could this discrepancy cause any issues? If so, should we update our address before traveling? And then it's a pretty long question. When we complete the address information at the time of entry and re-entry into the US, which address should be provided? Our current address or the initial old address that was on DS 160?
Yes, it's not a big issue, but you should always update your address or with CVs as well as with the CFFG. That's a must. You should do it. Now, this change is going to affect your husband? No. First part, let's start from the beginning. It's a long question. So first part was that the EDS 2019 is not signed. It does not matter. Whenever he comes to the US, you can tell the immigration officer to sign. Even if immigration officer does not sign, does not matter. It's just formality. It's not have to have letter signed DS 2019. Second part, address, I think I did address that part.
Yes.
You should update the address, and
the second question was, I'm going to break it, yeah. The second question was, when we complete the address information at the time of re-entry, which address should be provided? The current address or the old address that is on DS 160?
I think he should have both addresses with him.
Okay.
That my spouse was staying at this address, but now she's changed. Now, to make it further, if she has any letter came to your utility bill or something coming to that previous letter, a new letter, she should send him a scanned copy of that this was her first address, now she's changed to this address. I'm just saying to be more sure. It's not must, but you want to make your case stronger. If you have any letter coming to previous address and some official letter, any electric bill, phone bill coming to new, just if you have it, give him the copy that this was the old address, now she's residing this, and I'm going to go stay with her on this letter, and she's in the process of updating this. Also, if you have copies of leases from previous place and the new place, send him a copy of the lease also.
Yeah. And there are, anonymous attendees. They have listed several questions. I'm not sure if this is the same person, but I'll ask, the first one. I had previous B1, B2 refusal as a student applying for electives, and at that time had no step 2 at the time. Now I have passed step 2 and hold my PMDC license, but do not have step 3 permit ECFMG certificate yet. Can I safely apply on the basis of an observership alone, or considering significant weak application without step 3? Current observership offer is from the same teaching hospital that offered an elective in the past. Returning to the same institution, raise any red flags for visa?
First of all, no red flag. It's okay to go to the same institution. Number 2, about doing elective and observership. Yes, you can do observership. You can apply for B1, but to make a stronger case, you have step 2 done. So if you can wait a little bit and you can get step 3, like the step 3 permit and date, that will make your case stronger. But if for some reason, if you cannot do that, because it's a significant amount of fee, like around $2,000 for step 3, if you can't do that, then you can only go for observership. But to make case stronger, if it is possible financially and other ways, then add observership, 1 or 2 months of observership, 2 weeks or 3 weeks of elective, so you can get the 3-month visa. I think that will make your case stronger.
And then they're asking further, I think there's another question from the same. If I submit my DS 160 based on my current observerships, but manage to get my ECFMG certification and step 3 scheduling permit before the interview date, and can I present the new credentials verbally during the interview? And then they're asking, they have 3 observerships lined across 3 different states on DS 160 during the interview. Should I detail the entire itinerary, or focus primarily on the first observership?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah. So about the having a step 3 permit, as I said earlier, it's going to make your case stronger. Now, if you did not mention DS 160, leave it alone. Don't edit it, because once you edit and submit, it will mess up with your A number and with your visa interview letter. So what I usually recommend is that you can edit it and print your new DS 160. Whatever new changes are, you can do that without submitting. Again, do not submit, just print it out. And when you go, take it with you. When you give the passport and your picture, you can hand over to them that I have some edited DS 160, or I've made some changes. They might take it, they might not. If they don't, mention to the visa officer that at that time I did not have a permit for step 3, or I had only 1 letter, now I have 2 letters, I have 2 letters, now I have 3 letters. You can definitely tell the visa officer. Actually, when you tell it, he might or she might give you more time and mention those states, and be ready to present those letters. So you can say, I have a first observership in Texas, second is Arizona, third is in St. Louis, Missouri, from this state to this state. Just be fluent. Don't have to look at papers. You should know where you're going, what are the approximate dates, and then you present those letters. Just do not just keep those letters in your pocket or in your bag. Have it in your hand and tell the visa officer, I have those letters if you want to look at. So get their permission to look at. If they want to, and I'm 100% sure they want to, then present it to them. Don't just put on the front of the visa officer without asking, without requesting if you want to look at. Any document you want to show, ask the visa officer, kindly, I have my bank statement, I have my affidavit for support, I have an invitation letter. Would you like to look at? If the officer says yes, then present politely and don't just throw in front of the visa officer. Just be polite. And then if they have further question, how did you receive this observership? How did you find out this place? Just be honest. If there was a friend or if you have a sibling in that place, just tell that my sister works there or my uncle is in that facility and he introduced me to this preceptor. There's nothing wrong in hiding.
Yeah.
I will just briefly mention that meanwhile, make a list of your URLs, all social media URLs. Print it on a piece of paper and take it with you to the visa officer and say that I have all my link to my my social media accounts, and give it to again, ask them, if you want to have it, I can give it to you, that paper. It actually decrease your time of mandatory social media vetting. So present that, because recently I've seen a few AP that visa officer asked them to upload URLs or your media links. So if you already have it on a piece of paper, just give it to the visa officer that I have all these on my hand. Yeah, I can present to you. If you forget about any social media account, like there was an old account or just forgot, update your DS-160 and do not submit, print it and get the URLs or link to that social media account, all social media account, even if they're not active. Make them public, make those URLs, print it on a piece of paper and present to the visa officer during interview.
So we will be taking turns in asking questions. Dr. Samina, would you like to ask questions now?
Okay, so I think I'll take it. And I just want to tell all the attendees, in order to make it easier for us, the hosts, to follow your questions and make sure that we don't miss any, please type your questions in the Q&A panel. So I think I'll start with something somewhat similar to the previous question. Someone is asking, should we already get 3 observerships in hand and then apply for a B1 visa? Or after getting 1 observership, should we get the interview? And they've only give us 1 month visa. What do we do about the other 2 observerships?
No, if you have, at the time of filling your DS-160, only one, you mentioned that. If you get later another second, third letter for observership, invitation for observership, sure, you can tell the visa officer and you can edit your DS-160, do not submit, but print it, take it to the embassy and give it to them that I have made some changes in my DS-160. If you have 3, I usually don't recommend more than 3 because visa officer get annoyed that you need only 3 LOR. Why you want to do 4 and 5? If you already done 2, 3, then don't go for 3 more. So be careful that what you present to the visa. They're very well educated that how many visa letters, letter recommendations you need. If you already done 3 and you have 3 letter recommendation, even though if it was for last cycle, you really do not need new or fresh clinical experience. Clinical experience is clinical experience. So even if you did not match last year, you really do not need to go for another clinical experience. Use those LOR for the next match. This is a misconception that I need to make a connection with the program director or with attending physicians because this will cause problem in future. Even if you have a multiple entry visa right now and you want to do 3 months this year, 3 months next year, another 3 months, we know that there are still people waiting for their J1 in India and other countries because of their 8-9 months of rotations, just because they did not match in 1 cycle or 2 cycles. So this is their 3rd cycle. No, you only need 3 letters. So don't take 4 letters. If you already have done 2 observership, don't take 3 more letters. Just take 1 more.
Okay, so another question from Eamon. My question is, I had a job as my home tie, but they didn't ask anything about work. Then how to mention the home tie? For example, how do I answer, will you apply for match this year?
Yeah, we have touched this part, but whenever you go for interview, try to bring 3 things in your interview. Like try to squeeze it in. 1, your PMDC license. 2, your house job. 3rd, your job. Or if you're married, you mention that. Or if you have a child, please try to bring that in the conversation. That's your art, how you're going to bring that. But when you're talking about the job, simply you say that, if they ask you, officer asks you a question, how are you doing? You say, I'm doing fine. Hopefully you're having a nice day. If they're going to ask you a question that, why you are doing observership. Simply say, I am a medical graduate from King Edward, Allama Iqbal. I did my house job. I have a PMDC license. Start that conversation. Then you can say, currently I'm working for this hospital or for the government or private as a medical officer at this place. So you bring that out yourself if they don't ask you question. And then you can say that, I got this opportunity to have observership as US is the best healthcare system. I want to go observe, learn about the healthcare system in the United States so I can come back and apply. So then you can again mention, apply in my practice as a medical officer or as a registrar or as a private clinician in my own practice to enhance my patient care. If you're doing your residency or if you're doing some research, bring that experience to that particular thing what you're doing. About specific question about residency, again, simply say that I have a dream one day if I get opportunity to do clinical training, use the word training in the United States. I would love to do that, but right now I'm focusing on my job, on my house job, on my family, whatever reason is, or I'm doing my research paper, or I'm doing my residency training or postgrad training in Pakistan. My main focus is that. And as soon as I finish my observership or step 3 exam, I will come back and join my position, my job, my residency training, my postgraduate education, whatever you're doing. So you should answer that. Simply say, yes, I'm going to apply for residency. Officer, even if he wants to or she wants to give you a visa, legally they are bound to deny your visa because you have shown the intent to use that visa to stay there or go back using this visa.
Okay, so another one, I think you touched upon this, but just so we cover it again. Someone is saying, after filling the DS form and getting an appointment and considering the year-long wait times, some of our plans may change. For example, the place where we're staying. Would that be a red flag if it doesn't match of what we originally filled out?
No, not at all. You're not even supposed to have a place like a hotel room or anything before your visa. Those things should be done after visa. It's not a requirement that you should. If the officer asks where you're going to stay, you can say that I have looked at places around my observership place and I plan to stay at this place, but I've not done any booking. I plan to do my booking after my interview or after my visa is stamped. So that's okay to do. And suppose you have it. Suppose you had an aunt or uncle living there. Now they moved. You simply say that I was planning to stay with my aunt or my uncle, my friend, my brother, but they have moved. Now I plan to stay at this place. You can edit your DS-160 if you want. Do not submit. I keep saying do not submit because it is important. If you submit, your appointment will be cancelled. Your visa will be your visa interview will not happen on that date. So do not submit again. Print it and tell the visa officer that I made some changes. I will be staying on a different place. I'm doing observership in an extra place or a different place, and I have a letter from that physician. Maybe that first person who you had appointment in July, your interview is in September. Now that person does not have another slot for observership. So you can present a different letter. But take the old letter with you and the new letter with you and say, I was planning to do this. I have a letter, but because my delay in visa interview, my preceptor is not accepting me because it does not have a slot for any reason. And now I got another observership at this place. So that's not a red flag. Officer will annotate that place. If it was a different state, now you're in a different state, they will put that new state on it. They will take letter from you, and be careful that any letter you have, any sponsorship letter, any letter from elective for observership, you should tell that person that you're going for interview on this date, and they should expect a call from the embassy. Recently, one J1 visa interview there was a mishap or unfortunate situation that this was a hospital or was going to sponsor for research J1, and they had affidavit and everything. The visa officer went back and he called that person who signed the letter, and person said, I have no idea. So not only his J1 was rejected, his previous multiple entry B1 was revoked because officer told him that you lied to us. You gave us a fake document. And most likely he will never get a US visa again. So be very, very careful. Even you have a genuine letter, the officer may ask your preceptor, may ask your sponsor. If you mention your sister, your brother, your father, they should be ready at the time of interview that they might get a call.
Okay, thank you for that. And so the next question is, because my observership starts in October, I can't secure a Step 3 permit in time. As a licensed medical grad and currently a house officer, what specific ties to Pakistan carry the most weight to overcome a prior refusal?
Again, it's a repetition. You're having your house job and PMDC that gives you ability to practice in your country, home country. If you do not have a PMDC license, you cannot practice even your doctor. So that makes your case very weak, that you will seek employment or job somewhere else. But having a house job, having a PMDC license, having a job, even if it's a private job, having a spouse, having a child, having a parent or other responsibility, or having some property or having some business, if you're doing something that shows that you have a reason to come back, you will have to bring that up to the officer. Now, as I mentioned earlier, you're young, you might not have a lot of property, a lot of businesses, but whatever you have, they know that they're not expecting you to have 5 million rupees in your account or 10 million rupees in your account or 2 homes or 5 plots in your name. You're young, but having a PMDC license, you can. Job or looking for a job, you can. If you're married, that's a tie. You're leaving your spouse, a child behind. If you have parents, elderly parents, your only child, and you're taking care of them, that's also a tie to your home country.
And the same person continues, my father is my sponsor and is a retired government officer with a strong bank statement. I'm a house officer. Should I give him as my sponsor or myself as my sponsor?
So if you're a house officer, you're making some money, make sure that money goes to your bank account and you take bank statement, which shows that your income is going to that account. So you can simply say that I'm a house officer, my income, my monthly stipend is this much. I have done some saving, but it's not enough. So my father was kind enough to. Now here you should mention that, like my father, who was government official as what? A chief engineer in Wapda, he was a school teacher, or he was a professor in college or university. You should mention that. That's important. But he's retired, but he has a significant income through his retirement or his pension, or he's got some rental income, or he's got some land lease income, whatever income is. Now, and that should be reflecting in his bank account that his salary or his pension or his rental income is coming to that account that you're taking the bank statement with. And that should have enough sufficient fund. You can have a 5-10 million rupees, but if there's no source of income, where that money came from, officer will say that maybe your father borrowed from somebody or asked a friend to transfer money to the account. So that has to be coming through his source of income. It can be pension, salary. If you have pension statement from the government or from the company that he was employed with, take that. They have some kind of slip that they are receiving this money from in their pension. Or if there are any lease agreement, or that money of kiraya jisko bolte hain, that going to your father account, and that should be there. Now, if you ask somebody to deposit money, make sure that that money is there for like 6 months or more. Like somebody send money, 5 million rupees, 2 days ago, then it will look suspicious. Other thing that you can do, if you have income, you file your taxes, or your father or whoever is sponsoring, they file their taxes with the FBR, take those documents. And that should be showing up. You say, my father income is 5 million rupees per year, but tax paper says 2 million rupees or 1 million rupees. That is not going to work. So then better do not take their FBR papers, which is countering, like most of people hide their income. They don't show to the FBR that they make that much income. So if that does not coincide with your actual income, do not take FBR paper.
Okay, and then someone else is asking anonymously, is it worth applying to the match without USCE? And step 3, as I was unable to get a visa and won't be able to get a visa in time.
I know every year at least dozen of people do get into residency if they have a good score, and if they have some research work or postgraduate training in Pakistan, they do consider that. Yeah, it does help you to have USCE, but it is not must. As if you have a good letter of recommendation from your home country or postgraduate training, I know one girl, she got into internal medicine because she was registrar in cardiology in Karachi, and she did not have USCE experience. So, but that was considered that, she's working as a registrar in cardiology. Try to get it, but if you can't get it, still you should apply for it. And especially in the IMG friendly programs, in medicine, family practice, emergency medicine, where there is less chance of, more chance of getting accepted or matched. I guess that was the question.
Yeah, that addresses her question. The next question is from Kinza. She's saying, my current program end date is June 30th, 2029. With the new rule limiting the period of admission, if I return to the US after international travel, how would this affect my status through June 30, 2029? Would I need to apply for an extension of stay with USCIS at some point?
No, the thing is, if as long as the J1 visa is valid, they can stay, or they can come back to United States. Now, if you stay in the United States and do not get your visa stamped after 4 years from the day one of entering your visa stamp, you will need to either apply for extension or go back to home country to get visa restamped. I hope I answered that question. This question was very vague.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll chime in if it's not. Then another anonymous person says, if I travel internationally and upon re-entering the US, my I-94 is issued with an admit until date of June 30, 2029, which is currently the end date of my residency program, how would the J1 waiver process work?
It's not going to affect. That will be on completion of your J1, and you just look for a waiver, apply for the waiver, and because waiver is going to be on H1, either you will have change in category staying in United States, or you go out and receive a new H1 for waiver position. Your I-94 record should not affect your H1 for waiver.
Okay, thank you. And then another question anonymously is it still a red flag to get university observership, which isn't IMG friendly university, for example, that doesn't sponsor J1 later for residency?
Not at all. It's actually a good thing because you're B1, you're not intending to come back to join the residency. So although your goal is to get, but that's not your intent current at the time of B1. So having observership at university is actually plus sign, whether they do sponsor H1 or no, or J1 or no, or they're IMG friendly or no. There's no red flag in any of those circumstances.
Okay, and then we have a question from Zainab. So she says, I have a question. I'm a mother of 2. My husband has been to the US and has an active B1, B2. I'm now done with step 1 and 2 and want to apply for step 3 and apply on a visa basis, on observership basis. I want to take kids with me. My husband would be going with me to take care of kids. What advice would you give me on how to proceed with this plan?
I do not recommend that. Why do you have to take your kids for observership? And especially your husband, if he is here, he can take care of. Now, if he was having a job there on J1 or H1, that's a different scenario that you can say that my husband will take care of him. Again, for observership, make arrangements to leave them in Pakistan. Do not take with you. Actually, a few J1 visa were rejected this year just because the family had, the applicant had dependent. One girl, I think she got just now, she had a 3-month-old and then other 2 kids and husband. So the visa officer continued to reject her visa at least 2 times, I remember, because that where she was going to do of her residency, the income was not good enough to take care of 4 family member or 5 family member. I know one J1 resident female, she has 3-year-old and 6-year-old. They're in Pakistan with grandparents because she was not given visa, because actually she did not even apply for her kids because of this same reason. Now we are actively working with the Department of State as well as with the embassy, and I'm trying to convince them that do not compare American lifestyle and the Pakistani resident lifestyle. They don't go out to eat restaurants. They don't go for movies. They don't go for bars, and they don't go for vacation while their vacation is coming back to their country. And so do not count that, because they try to count the income in that area and expense per person, and they try to reject many J1 visas. But it is very hard, especially I look at that mother who was 2-year-old and 6-year-old. She talks to me and she says, I miss my kids. So it's very hard. We're working on that, but right now it's better you go alone.
Okay, let's see. I think she mentioned that she was in Saudi right now, and the husband had a job on a Iqama.
Yeah, if they are in Saudi and they have enough income in bank, like at least $20,000-$30,000, she can try it. She can say, I have a means, I can hire somebody to take care of them. Then you can definitely take them. I keep giving example. There was a similar girl from Qatar, and she had 2 kids. And she asked me that, what should I do? They're rejecting visas. I said, no, not for you. If you have, so they had, her husband was IT engineer. They had their company. They had $200,000 in their bank account. So they got visa for 4 of them. Mm-hmm. So if you have enough funds in your bank and you can prove that you can hire somebody. When visa officer asked this girl from Qatar, she said, I will hire somebody to take care of, babysit my child. He said, you have income, you have sources? He said, yes, I have $200,000 in my bank account, and we will take that money with us. So she was granted visa. Now, you might try that. But again, for observership, I will still recommend going alone is better.
Okay, thank you. Then another anonymous attendee is asking, if I get a J1 tourist visa and later have my husband, who is a U.S. citizen, have us married on paper and proceed with a spouse green card, is that something that could potentially get me blacklisted?
I think she meant B1 visa.
She said if I get a J1, maybe she means B1, but she wrote J1.
J1
tourist
okay.
visa.
Yeah, tourist is B1. Now, it's allowed that, if you stay here for 90 days, you can get married. But nowadays, there is a long wait, or there is kind of, I should say, ban on changing the category. So it can become a problematic, but best option is that her husband should talk to an immigration attorney and get opinion, because this is a very sticky situation. He or you can get into trouble, but he should talk to immigration attorney, and there should be at least 90-day, or some cases more than that you cannot get married. You can register your marriage. And when you mean paper marriage, again, sometimes they do ask for nikah nama also if they know you're Muslim. So they might ask for nikah nama also when her husband applies for green card for her. So have all those documents ready and do a proper marriage. Don't use the word paper marriage.
Okay, thank you. So one more, it's I'm seeking advice on the optimal timing for my B1, B2 visa application. I take my OET and will soon register for USMLE Step 3 after receiving my ECFMG certificate. Should I apply for the visa now using an observership invitation letter or wait to apply using the Step 3 scheduling permit as my primary anchor? Given current consular scrutiny, which strategy offers the highest probability of approval?
He can mention, because right now don't have a OET, don't have a Step 3 permit and Step 3 date, but apply for visa on observership, but then later on edit your DS-160, do not submit, take it with you, and tell the visa officer that the time I was filling my DS-160, I did not have all the requirement met, but now I have. I would like to do my observership as well as my Step 3, and I have all those documents, permit and date for the exam, and I think that's the best policy. Adding Step 3, because Step 3 is only in USA, it makes your chances getting higher for your B1. But if you do not have a PMDC license, do not even mention Step 3, because Step 3 is a licensing exam, and the officer looks at that you do not have a license in your home country, but you're sitting in exam, licensing exam in USA. So they have denied Step 3 base V1 if you do not have PMDC license in Pakistan.
Thank you. So the last question that I'll sort of do before I turn it over to Dr. Haroon is from Noreen. She's saying, Dr. Shazad mentioned that if the visa officer asks about the plan of residency, we should say that we are currently focusing on our job in Pakistan. But if we are applying on the basis of both Step 3 and observership, how should we tackle that question?
Same way that I'm trying to get to know the US healthcare system, and I will learn and come back and apply that knowledge to my current practice, clinical practice, or my residency, postgraduate training. And if they specifically ask you that do you plan, which they know that you are doing this for Step 3, but strictly legal purposes, you cannot say that he or she cannot issue you a visa if you show intent to come back or do something in future using B1 visa. So you should simply say that right now I'm focusing this, but if they ask you specifically, and if you say no, I have no plan to go to US for residency, the officer will say you're lying. So say that yes, I, like other doctors, I have a goal. If I get a opportunity to get training in the United States, I would love to do that, but right now I'm focusing on my job or family or education.
Okay, so before, 1 second, before we go and transfer to Dr. Haroon, I'd like to allow Dr. Barbara Rao, who's just joined us, to sort of say a few words. Let me promote him. 1 second.
Yeah, I've been.
There he is.
Yes. So I've been listening to Fateh and Haroon, thank you, and obviously Sabina, thank you for doing this. But it looked like Fateh is now an expert in this really, because I served as a chair of a department for 25 years and program director, but I don't know answer to all these things. So this is really good. I'm happy that you are doing this, because people who are applying, this knowledge is very valuable. So thank you for doing this, and we continue to do this. So Samina, please go ahead and continue.
Thank you. For those of you who are new and are not familiar, Dr. Barbara Rao is the president of APPNA, and so we would like to thank him for providing us the platform as part of the Advocacy Committee in order to help provide these webinars for the various international medical graduates. So thank you so much, Dr. Barbara Rao, for saying hello and welcome.
And we are doing a first free clinic in Madera, California today for community. That's where I am.
Oh, excellent.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Back to you, Dr. Haroon.
Okay, this is a question from Shahzeb. Shazim, I'm having electives in Florida State University. So, question is, I'm the only daughter of my mother, and I don't have my father or brother. In the form DS 160, I mentioned that my mother sponsored me, and she owns agriculture land, and all of the mother finances are controlled by me. Mother is in my bank account, money is in my bank account, and my mother does not have any bank account as she's not even educated. So is it okay if I show my bank statement to the visa officer?
Sure, you can definitely sponsor yourself. Self-sponsoring is the best option actually if you have a means to self-sponsor. Even if the income is actually your mother's income, but it's coming into your account, and just whatever you wrote, you tell the visa officer, my mother is not educated or ill, not able to take care of finances. I'm the only child and I'm the only care provider. So all the income comes to my account. I take care of her medical expenses, as well as the home chores, home expenses, whatever you have that you utilize that. You're the manager of that money. And my mother, just say that I have talked to my mother, I got her permission to use funds from her money, although it's in my account. That shows that you are an honest person, that you ask your mother, you're just not stealing money from your mother. You ask them, I have requested or I have asked, don't say I've informed, I have requested or I have asked my mother that can I use 10 lakh rupees or whatever amount, and she was kind enough to let me use, and whenever I get opportunity, I have enough money, I plan to return it to her. So that will be very good statement, show you a responsible person, honest person, managing your parents' income or money or account is a strength to you, that you are a very responsible person. It's a good thing.
So now next question is from the anonymous attendee. Should we mention only social media accounts like Instagram, Facebook, or should we also mention other accounts like Goodreads, etc.? So they're asking if they should send all the social media accounts or limit some of them.
All the social media accounts, even if you're not using, even if you have used in the past. So try to mention all those and keep them public after you submit your DS-160, and keep them public when you enter or even till you leave USA. So that shows that you're not hiding anything. I always bring one incident because some of you might be first time that listening to me, that one B1 visit visa person was denied US entry because he was part of a WhatsApp group where people were talking about how to get jobs in a grocery store and a gas station when you get into USA. So they asked him to come for second interview, which is not uncommon. Don't be scared that if they're calling you, that's random. So you can be picked, you can be not picked. So that's a random. So he was unlucky that he was picked. So he was taken to a separate room. Once you get picked for the secondary interview, then everything they need to look at, and they do look at. So they asked him to give his cell phone, and they looked into that. Screening is very easy for Homeland Security. So they looked at and they found that he was part of a group where people were asking questions. And they denied his they denied his entry and asked him to leave on volunteer basis. So he actually contacted me from airport and I told him that you should leave because otherwise you might be blacklisted. So he went back. Maybe he will get a chance to come back, although he was not asking those questions. Just being a part of such a group kind of put him not a good candidate to enter USA. So be very, very careful on social media.
Yeah. So another from an anonymous attendee. I graduated in 2025 and I'm ECFMG certified, completed my house job in July 2026 and hold a permanent license. I've had 2 B1, B2, one observership letter at my first interview and 3 letters at my second interview, and J1 visa refusals within a span of 1.5 years for medical observerships and a research training position, respectively, under Section 214B, with the most recent refusal in July. Now, I have two siblings living in the US. Both of them have green card. I'm the youngest of the siblings, with one sibling and both of my parents here in Pakistan. My parents have valid tourist visa. At this point, I'm totally confused about how to proceed further in this journey. Is it possible to get a B1, B2 approved eventually on the basis of step 3, or should I just leave this pathway since it's practically impossible to get a visa approved after 3 refusals? I'm unable to apply for the match due to lack of US clinical experience. Thank you for your input and guidance.
Sure. Now, leaving this pathway or sticking, that's your personal decision. But I know a few applicants, they got their visa granted on 6th term. Like they were 5 refusals and 6th time he did receive visa. And there are more than one person. So if it's solely just because your fear of not getting visa accepted, I think you should try it with good observership. With the step 3 exam permit, you have a PMDC license. Looks like that if you just graduated in July of 2026, you must not have a PMDC license previously. And even you might not have a license now. I don't know if you graduate 2026, how do you have a PMDC license? Did he graduate 2025 or 2026?
25.
Okay. So now you have a PMDC license. So that puts you at higher level to get your visa approved. So get observership letter, get a step 3 permit and date, and get a job somewhere and have some saving in your bank account and prepare well for the visa interview. Go through we have lots of YouTube videos. I have done with APPNA, I have done with other groups. If you put my name, Visa, Dr. Fateh Shahzad, you'll find lots of videos that I've done that. Go through that, just invest in yourself. People ask questions and I tell them, did you look at my YouTube? They say, no. I say, well, go to, it's 3 hours long. I don't have time. So don't expect from me or other person to give you my time when you can't spare 3 hours for yourself. So do some effort and don't insult other person by saying that I don't have time to watch your video. It's not a good taste to leave to the other person. So be respectful, be mindful, and invest time in yourself. If there are videos available, you might have this question, but if you go through the videos, you might find other things that they're important or they will be helpful.
Do you think having a family with 2 green card holders would affect their getting a chance to get the visa?
Not in these days because they're adult. Now, their brother, sister can't sponsor this person, especially nowadays. Even parents cannot really sponsor somebody age 21 and more. So that's not a red flag, having a sibling or having a family member. Having a spouse, yes.
Okay. I have applied for B1, another anonymous attendee. I have applied for B1, B2 visa and mentioned on the application address of my father's friend. Unfortunately got rejected. And again, now filling out the application. Should I need to mention the same address, or if they ask that I have family member, or should I mention some other address?
Yeah. Having a family member or family friend is not a red flag. You can mention that. I don't think that was a reason for rejection. Most likely other reason that you were not able to convince the visa officer. And sometimes visa officers don't just give visa without any reason. So don't be discouraged that if your visa was denied. It can be just he or she did not think you are very convincing. So you have to be very convincing. Even if you have everything 100% with you, all the documents, and if visa officer for some reason does not want to give you visa, he or she can deny. That's their right. And there's no appeal for that. So don't get discouraged that maybe there is something wrong in my history. No, there can be everything perfect and still you can get visa denied. But for sure, if there is something shaky in your background, then you're not going to get visa.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. Another anonymous attendee. My question is, how much money, how much bank balance do you need to have if you have to travel for observerships across multiple states?
I usually recommend like 5 lakh rupees for the ticket, and then 5 lakh rupees for which you can convert around $2,000. If you can have more, that's better, but at least there should be 1 million rupees in bank account. If it is more, that's better, but you don't have to have 10 million or 20 million rupees in the bank account.
Okay. Thank you. Another anonymous attendee. Hello, Sir Salam. What's good time to apply for visa after step 1? Also finding difficult to find observerships as I don't know which will help me more with the match.
Well, the match, you need to have some clinical experience. I recommend that. So do find a place where you can find observership, get a letter. Meanwhile, you can apply for a visa interview, fill the DS-160, pay the fee, get a date, and you can change that. Maybe get more observership, maybe get a different observership. And when you go for interview, that time you should tell the visa officer. And whatever is determined during visa interview, then you cannot change your plan. If for somehow your plan get cancelled for any reason, or the preceptor is going to say that I cannot accommodate you for any reason, I usually do not recommend going unless you have in the same city, same hospital, same state, another letter of observership as any preceptor willing to accommodate you. But if it's a different state, I will rather not travel, but then mess up my future chances of getting visa.
Okay. Another question. My sister is on green card in the US, and every time they ask me about this and I answer truthfully, but I'm unsure if I'm getting rejected because of her. Is it better to mention that I'm staying with her to mention that I'm staying somewhere else?
Again, it's not a red flag. They cannot really sponsor you or keep you there. Now, even I know few applicant got visa, their brother or their sister was actually giving them money to stay there or to visit or to travel or paying their fee. So there can be more than one reason. There can be no reason to be visa rejected. So don't blame your sister or your relationship or your family to be there. That's not a red flag.
Yeah. So thank you. Another question is, I've applied for B1, B2 and mentioned on the application. I think this is a repeat question. Somebody else already asked. So Eamon Farooq has asked, I have the observership letter from Chicago, from the clinic in Chicago. Now I have another opportunity from Georgia, but it is also from the clinic. Can I bring 2 clinic letters? I'm currently unable to secure any hospital observership letter. I think you've answered, but you can elaborate.
Definitely. Can bring and tell the visa officer, and even you can edit your DS-160, add that location, but do not submit, and print it and take it with you and tell the visa officer that I've edited it and I have a second opportunity, and request. You have to be kind of in a begging mode, like if you kindly allow me to have another observership, I would love to do that because can be so many reasons. One reason is cost, that travel cost is so high. So you can simply say, I had only 1 letter, so mention, now I have 2 letters, I have 3 letters. Kindly, if you allow me to stay another 2 months, I would love to do that because cost of traveling and the time it will take to get another visa. But if you think it's not appropriate, I will just do one observership and come back. So give them right away there that I'm not going to violate whatever you tell me to do.
Now, this is a question, I think, practical question some people have asked. Is there a difference between the embassy and the consulate visa? I'm hearing more about Karachi embassy that is giving visa easily as compared to Islamabad embassy. That's one of the questions.
Not really. Karachi just started giving from July. They were closed for at least 3-4 months. Since April, they were closed. But it's your own documents, it's your own letters, it's your own interview skills that makes you have a visa. And on top, the mood of the visa officer. So I will not recommend going to Karachi just because you think that you will get visa there. Now, if you live in Karachi or near Karachi, or you can get earlier appointment in Karachi, go for it. That's not a problem. But chances of getting one place or other place, they're same.
Okay. So we can also have some live question.
Absolutely, yeah.
So we can open, if there is any question, live questions, please, you can ask.
There's someone, I can unmute them if you like.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, so there's someone, his name is USAID. Please go ahead, ask your question. Unmute yourself. Okay, so I think they lowered their hand. So
no, he's there.
Okay, can you hear us? Go ahead, please ask your question. No, okay. So let me go to another person that has their hand raised, I believe. Anfal Arshad, I'll unmute. Okay.
Assalamu alaikum. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
First of all, thank you so much for this webinar. It's been very helpful. My question is that I understand we have to make our social media accounts public, but there are other types of accounts which are not social media, such as, there's some kind of lists like Goodreads. Some people make lists of books. So do we have to mention that as well? Or should we not mention that? Because, that has a lot of lists and other things.
I think as many as you can mention, you should, because if the embassy or the visa officer, because once you apply for DS-160, once you submit DS-160, your background check starts right away. So their department, which is there in the embassy and in the consulate, that they only do this job. So they are going to, whatever information you have provided or you have not provided, so they will look at. And if there is an account that you're using it, but you did not mention, that can cause problem. So mention as many as possible. There is a limit how many you can list, but try to list everything that you use, which is considered social media.
All right. Thank you so much.
And I think for Goodreads, it's pretty much easy to search how you can. I mean, if someone has a Goodreads account, it pretty much shows up even on Google. So yeah, you're right. I think we should mention that. So next question is Jannat Mahmood. I'll unmute you. Go ahead, Jannat. Can you please unmute yourself?
Yeah. If you want to ask a question, you have to unmute yourself.
I think she's still muted, so you can go to next person. Maybe she will unmute.
Yeah, go to someone else.
Okay.
You want to go to Ilsa Akil?
Ilsa Akil, yes.
Okay. Ilsa, unmute yourself.
Hello?
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes.
First of all, thank you for conducting this webinar. It has been really helpful throughout. My question is that I am actually a recent graduate currently studying for Step 2. And I wouldn't be taking Step 2 not before January at least. I'm scheduled for the interview in early November, and I have very strong university letters for observership. So I wanted to ask that if my chances are significantly lower without Step 2, or can I still be considered competitive if I have an overall strong application?
Absolutely. If you've done just Step 1, that's good enough. And for observership or for visa purposes, you do not have to have Step 2. But of course, if you have step 2, that you should include it. But you can apply for visa interview even with step 1 if you have a letter of invitation, you have other requirement met, you have done your house job, you have PMDC license that will improve chances of getting visa. You should definitely go for it.
Okay, currently I have this temporary PMDC license because I am doing my house job and it won't be ending before July 2027.
No, you can take your chances, but my recommendation is do everything after you've done your house job. But again, if you are doing house jobs, going for observership only, not for step 3 because you're not done even step 2, you can try it. But for step 3, definitely you should have permanent license.
Okay, actually what happened was last time in around February, I had this very strong university letter. I was almost about to get the visa, but what happened was that my graduation date coincided with my observership date. So the visa officer himself said that apply for the emergency visa and you'll be accepted next time. But I could not apply for the emergency visa. I followed this conventional pathway to apply normally. So
Yeah.
do you think that it is fine?
It is absolutely all right. Actually, it should be on your record that whatever a visa officer told you, the new visa officer will look at that file and they will look at the recording before they interview you. So that's a good thing for you.
Okay, the next one I think live is Soha Azhar. Can you please unmute yourself?
Hello,
Yes, please go ahead.
can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
So, Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
So, sir, I wanted to ask that does having multiple social media accounts on one app, for example, like Insta or Facebook, if they do not contain anything anti-US in it, does it automatically create a red flag for your application?
Can you repeat your question again?
I said if we have like multiple social media accounts, for example, 2 Instagram accounts or 2 Facebook accounts on one app, does it create a red flag for us if the accounts do not contain anything anti-US in it?
No red flag. You can have as many accounts as you're allowed to, as long as there is no anti-US, no anti-Semitic comment, nothing in favor of any banned organization, banned person, nothing against the President of the United States, nothing while igniting violence, then or religious extremism, you will be fine. Don't worry about it. You can have 10 accounts, no problem.
Okay.
But you
Thank you so much.
You have to mention all, make a list of URLs or the links to your social media accounts, print it and take it with you during visa interview.
I think these will be all for now for the live questions. I'll go back to the question and answer on the panel. So Azka Fatima, hello, taking the waiting time into a consideration, is it recommended to try to get observership and apply for the visa prior to even passing your step 1 and all of that's happening before house job?
It's okay to apply for it because it might take a year to get your appointment. But if your appointment comes and you have not done step 1 or you have not completed your house job or not have a letter of invitation, then don't go or just delay your appointment to next month or next quarter. Sometimes it has happened and very unfortunate that they have preponed the appointments. Like if you're scheduled in November, October, they've done in August. So just be mindful of that they can, sometimes they've done that okay, instead of coming in October, you can come in August. So in that case, people get panic and they reach out to me. Especially, I know a few residents who are doing residency and they're planning to visit Pakistan in September and their date is being postponed to August. So they asked me what to do then. Simply you postpone your appointment to next whenever is suitable to you. Do not reapply for emergency or anything. Just you will get option to cancel and postpone. Then you can postpone that.
Okay, thank you. Next, another one is an anonymous attendee. The question is, my father owns a private hospital and he is my sponsor. I also work at my father's hospital as a medical officer. How should I mention this in my interview?
Just be truthful. There's nothing wrong in owning hospital and working for your parents or in your own hospital. As long as you have salary coming from that place and your father income going to the account you are going to mention. And if you have some kind of statement from the accountant of the hospital showing the annual income, that will be great to take with you.
Yeah. And Zabe has asked the question, I think you have already answered. Can your brother sponsor your visit to the US?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anybody.
Next question, I'll go back. I'm a full-time pathology tutor in medical college, but don't receive much salary. That too is also irregular. Can I add my parents as a sponsor, or I need to get another job? Will they see my salary account, or sponsor parent account is good enough?
You can mention that, and you should, whatever income you're receiving, even if cash, you deposit in your account, and that should show some money in your account. And you can add parent, sibling, a family member, friend as a co-sponsor. And you should say what I said earlier, that I'm tutoring, I make 10,000 rupees a week or 5,000, whatever income is, and it's not good enough. So I asked my father, my parent, my mother, my sibling to help me, and they were kind enough to let me use their funds for this trip, and I will try to return as when I am able to return. So mention that. That shows you're responsible and you are also have self-respect for you.
Okay. Now, next question is mostly IRAS based, or seeking advice for residency rather than visa. Because I'll just put the question out. Anonymous attendee, I wanted to clarify a B1, B2 visa, that they have B1, B2 visa and a clinical experience situation. They did clinical electives in Chicago in March and April 2025, followed by community hospital observership in May last year, both of which was disclosed to visa officer, and at the port of entry, they were confirmed rotations at the time. Later on, they have received, but the question is that although this third rotation has been arranged while I was still completing my first elective, would this postgraduate elective be permissible on a B1, B2, or would it had to be needed? Would it have needed to be an observership? That's what it said.
No elective, you can do elective, but as long as does not mention anywhere that it was hands-on training, you're fine.
Yeah. Also, if the institution issued a strong letter of recommendation calling it an elective, can I accurately include it as an elective in ERAS, or should it be described as an observership?
Elective is okay. Whatever is written in the letter is okay.
Correct. Now, next question is from Kazim Zafar Ali. Is home country residency in internal medicine with a letter of recommendation from supervisors or head superior to observerships in the US, or as currently inpatient observerships in the US are very costly along with the travel expenses?
It is good enough, but not superior.
Okay.
Try to get USC experience. It will increase your chances of getting matched, but again, it's not must. For some reason, if you cannot, you still can apply in the residency program and try your luck.
I'll ask the last question before Dr. Samina can take over. Anonymous attendee, good morning, sir. I hope you're doing well. I would like to ask for your guidance regarding my J1 application. I had my J1 visa interview on August 6th for an unpaid research position at Johns Hopkins University that required external funding. Initially, visa was approved as my DS 2019 was signed, and I was told that I was fully qualified for the position. Later, I received an email requesting additional documents including my degree, PMDC license, funding letter, and appointment letter from Johns Hopkins. The embassy also contacted my college regarding the funding, and my college indicated that they are not going to provide funding. Additional tax return and supporting documents were requested, but my college was unable to provide or approve them. Because of this situation, I ultimately had to withdraw my application. I would also like to mention that I already had a valid B1, B2 visa and previously traveled to the US on that visa in 2024 for electives.
So that's, I think I'm familiar with this case, a similar case. So in that case, they changed the sponsor because the first sponsor refused to give a text document.
Yeah.
So they changed to another hospital and then the visa was approved. You can reapply with a different sponsor. These days, emergency points are available in month of August. Do not let this chance go. If your case was almost approved, it's not your fault. The other institute or the institute that sponsored you actually acknowledge that they did, but they don't want to give more details, which is their right. So get another sponsor, ask them initially, ask them in front that you might need to disclose this information to the State Department or to the embassy, including this. If they're willing to, then get a letter from them and reapply for J1. And your B1, if they did not revoke, it should be still valid. You can travel.
Dr. Harun, you do the next question. I think it's related.
Yes. So my passport is currently with the embassy and my CEAC visa status is showing as refused. However, my department at Johns Hopkins is still willing to support me and issue me a new DS 2019, and they are still expecting me to join the research position. Given my situation, I would really appreciate your guidance, since Johns Hopkins is still willing to sponsor me and issue me a new DS 2019, and since the main difficulty in my previous application was related to funding documentation from my college, would you recommend that I reapply for the J1 visa with the new DS 2019 and complete supporting documents, or would you recommend that I apply for the J2 visa as a dependent of my husband, who's currently in a J1 residency program that sponsors a J1 visa? Since my purpose is also to join the research position at Johns Hopkins, I would like to know which one option would be more appropriate in my situation.
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, if the same institute, now technically the previous J1 is in administrative processing. It might or it will show refuse on the website, but it is technically in administrative processing, and the embassy is waiting for those documents. And even if they've received the response from the institution that they are not going to give those documents requested by embassy, it is still in the process. But likely they will refuse it, even if they have not refused it officially. If they would have refused by now, they should have returned your passport. So first option is the Johns Hopkins can issue you a new DS 2019. If you can find another sponsor who is willing to share all the information, first ask that sponsor before you're asking the Johns Hopkins to give you a new DS 2019. If you can find a sponsor who can provide all the required information to the embassy, then you should go for your own J1. Now, if there's no sponsor available, you can withdraw J1 and apply for J2. Now, there are some technicalities about J2. It has to be marriage or wedding in person. Online nikah is not acceptable. And J1 should have a valid stamp J1. If the spouse has J1 stamp expired, even if they have a valid DS 2019, J2 will not be issued. So you have to consider all those things, that the marriage nikah was not online, it was in person, and there has been some time, not just like few months, and your spouse has valid visa J1, not valid DS 2019. Because sometimes people travel, they don't come back, they do online nikah and they expect they're supposed to get J2. They're not going to get J2 on online nikah. They're not going to get J2 on if the J1 is not valid, because J2 is a dependent of J1 and J1 needs to have a valid stamp of the visa. I keep saying valid because people say, oh, they have valid DS 2019. They're two different things. Visa stamp needs to be valid for J1 to get J2 stamp, especially for the first time. Second time, there are some leeways that you had J2 before, your spouse is there, you came back to home country, and now your J2 is expired and you're going for second time, but your spouse J1 is not stamped. You might get visa, but for the very first time, J1 visa needs to be valid, stamped on the passport. So have to consider all these options before making the decision.
Thank you, Dr. Shehzad. Over to you, Dr. Samina.
Thank you. So now I'd just like to remind everyone that we're in our last hour, so 1 hour to go in this webinar. Thank you again to both of my colleagues for giving their Saturday morning 2.5 hours dedicated to this. So what we'll do in this last hour is probably mix it up with a bit of live questions from you. So raise your hands, as well as I'll read a few questions in the chat, in the Q&A. So make sure you're ready to unmute yourself so we don't waste time and make adequate use of the remaining time. So I'll read one question from the QA and then we'll go to the live questions. One question here is, how do you answer if you're asked if there's a plan of doing residency in the US when your purpose is travel for step 3 and observership? Also, if asked about the reason of doing additional observerships, how do you answer?
I think we have touched this topic a couple of times. So observership, residence, and step 3, if you straightforwardly tell the visa officer, yes, I'm doing step 2, I've done step 2, I'm doing observership, and step 3 because it will help me to get residence in USA, your B1 will be refused, most likely. So you should simply say that I am doing a house job, or I'm doing job, or whatever you're doing, and I'm going to United States to do observership. And while I'll be there, I'm planning to do step 3 examination. That all helps me familiarize with US healthcare system, and US is best healthcare system. And whatever I learned from this experience, I will apply to my patient care or my clinical practice or my research or my postgrad training or residency, whatever you're doing. Specifically, if the visa officer asks you, do you plan to do residency or you plan to apply for residency in future? In that case, you should say, officer, like most of the doctors, I have a dream, or I wish if I get an opportunity. Don't say, yes, I will do it. Say, if I get the opportunity to get training, use the word training, medical training in the United States, I would love to do that because that's the best healthcare system available and the best training in medical profession. But right now I'm focusing this one, and I would complete my observership and do my step 3 and come back as soon as I'm done because I have to join my postgrad training, my job, my house job, whatever you're doing. Don't straightforwardly say, yes, it will help me with residence.
Okay, so we have a live question from Aman Kumar. Go ahead, please.
Hello, Assalamualaikum. Thank you for giving me the opportunity. Actually, I need to ask a question regarding my B1, B2 visa. Actually, I have applied multiple times. I think around 5 times I have been rejected for my B1, B2. Initially, I applied on the observership basis, then I tried on my step 3 basis. I'm CFMG certified, currently doing internal medicine residency in Pakistan. I'm PGY2 here. So I would like to ask, should I continue this journey because I have applied match 2 times also, and I did not get matched. So what should I do at this point? Should I continue the journey or should I change the route for another country or something else?
Sure. So it all depends your year of graduation. You have to look at your case, that how long you have graduated. So If year of graduation more than 5 years, your chances of getting into residency gets less and less. If your score is not very good, below 240, chances are getting less and less. If you do not have good letter of recommendation, your chances is going to go less. So you have to put everything together and then, discuss with your family, discuss with your, senior colleague, any mentor, that what you should do. Everything, putting one thing at a time, that how this is going to put. But if only reason is to visa refusal, that should not be your judgment call to just call it off. You should still try to do it. If everything else is good, you're still in training, even though your year of graduation might be a little bit longer than they expect, but you are continuously doing something, and actually you're doing medical training. So that can be a positive thing if the program director will look at your personal statement or your resume and look at your application. You should try it. And other thing is, your family situation. If you're not married, they want you to get married. So that's also a factor. And if your spouse does not want to go, especially for females, many times happen that their in-laws, their spouse, they don't want you to go to other countries. So that will be another limiting factor. If you have aging parents, they need help. Living in Pakistan, doing practice in Pakistan is not something that we should discourage. If you have opportunity to practice, you have other responsibilities, you have family, you should consider all those things, that is it worth going to United States or not. If it is worth, then you should look at whether I have chances of getting into residency, then look all the criteria and then make that decision. Not one factor like just visa should not make you to quit or continue doing it.
Thank you, Dr. Shahzad. So I think the next question we'll take from Fatima Jahan. Please unmute yourself. Fatima Jahan. Go ahead, please. Okay, Fatima, you're unmuted now.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, go ahead, please.
So thank you for taking my question. So I applied for the visa. Considering the long wait times, I applied in advance after passing my step 1. So for the point of contact in US, I put in information of my cousin who's on a study visa, and opted yes to the other relative section in the DS form. Would that be considered a red flag that I have a cousin there? And I intend to go for observerships in step 3. I do not have letters yet, but as currently I'm preparing for step 2, and I have intention of going next year. So I'll get observership letters before my visa interview. So that thing.
So any family member in United States or friend is not a red flag. Only red flag can be if you have already applied for immigration, your parents did it for you or your spouse have done it, then you go for B1 or J1 visa. That can be problematic. Having a family member in the United States is not a problem. You can even ask them to sponsor you, or you can stay with them. That's not a red flag. As long as if you plan to stay with them and your observership or your step 3 is in that state, that should be all right. Now, if they're living in a different state, your observership is going to be a different place, a letter comes from a different state, then you should mention, yes, I did mention I will stay there, but my observership is in a different state, so I plan to find another accommodation. So I think you've done the right thing. You're going accordingly. But if you get your visa date and you do not have step 3 permit and you do not have an observership letter or observership letter alone, depending on your step 2 result, you should postpone your interview. I don't want you to go without having observership letter or without having all the documents you need. Even if you mention step 3, but for some reason you cannot do step 3, just tell the visa officer that right now I'm going to do only one observership. If that one observership or 2 or 3, I do not recommend more than 3 observerships. you can change things in 1 year. Things can change, and as long as
Yes,
you're honest and you're able to provide the documents supporting your statement, you will be fine. Go ahead.
yes,
You
I
have
also I put an address of Fort Worth. So considering your statement that things change in 1 year, so if I do not get observation in Texas, so can I explain that to the visa officer?
Absolutely. Just say that I was going to stay with my cousin. I had to fill the documents, so I had to give. So I tried to get observership wherever she or he is living, but unfortunately I could not get. So I'm going to go to different state and I will find accommodation after my visa is approved.
Okay, thank you. Now let's go to Rabia Qureshi. Please unmute yourself. Ask your question.
Yes, ma'am.
Go ahead, please.
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, you are. Just put your volume up. It's hard to hear.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, go ahead with your question.
Okay. Thank you so much for taking my question. And the question is, if I don't have the visa letter for observership, but I have only email confirmations from the attendings, so how can I deal with this during the interview?
Sure. First of all, do not use the word visa letter. Request the preceptor that you're kind enough to provide me email confirmation. It will be great help if you can write an invitation letter. Whenever you use the visa letter, people get a little bit concerned, are scared, I should say. So simply say the invitation letter that should say the same thing what you said in the email. If they are kind enough to give you, that's good, better. But if not, then you can take email correspondence and present to the visa officer. They might accept it, they might not accept it. As long as the name, their designation, their contact information, email is there, they usually do that and they reach out to them if they need to. They can Google that person, that if they're really working in that hospital, they live in that city. So just provide the accurate information, and it is better if you can get a letterhead invitation letter. But if not, you can try to use email correspondence also.
Thank you. So the next question, please be ready to unmute yourself. Zonera Salim, please ask your question. Zonera Salim, please unmute yourself.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Go ahead, ask your question, please.
Okay, Assalamualaikum. So my in-laws last year immigrated to the US, but my husband could not because he aged out, and he's applying for the match this year. So I also want to apply for observership. Should I wait for his match result, or I should apply for my B1 or B2 visa?
Yeah, you're an independent person. B1 is not related to his or your immigration, so you can apply for B1 for observership. Go ahead as you plan. And he is aged out, so he should not have a problem also getting B1 or J1. Yes, he did. His parents applied for immigration, but he's aged out and they do understand, and his application is not active. So that's not a red flag for you or for him.
Okay, so how would I convince them for my strong family ties in Pakistan?
Is your spouse here?
Yes, he is in Pakistan.
Yes, so that's one tie, that you're married, your spouse, and then if you have a PMDC license, that's your tie. If you have other family responsibilities, your parents, that's your tie. If you have any property, that's your tie. If you have a job, that's your tie. So use all those, whichever are available. Having a spouse is a big tie that you're not going to leave your husband and stay in the United States.
Okay, so it would not be a problem that he is also applying for match?
No, not at all. He's not got match. He's still in Pakistan. So till he's in, even if he's in USA, he's not a citizen. He cannot do anything good for you other than just keep you with him as a spouse. Legally, he cannot He can, if he gets J1, can get you J2 or H1 or H4. But other than that, you're two independent personalities as far as visa is concerned.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Shahzad. Let's let Jannat Mahmood, please unmute yourself.
Hello, Assalamu alaikum. Am I audible?
Yes, go ahead, please.
Okay, thank you for taking my question. My question is that my previous B1, B2 was refused in May, and I filled in the DS-160 again and mentioned my step 3 and observerships in the place where they've asked plans of travel. Now the thing is that I secured my visa interview for September, and my step 3 permit is going to expire in August. Even if I ask my preceptors to issue me a fresh invitation letter for observerships and I get an extension for step 3 eligibility period, will the visa officer not ask me that you mentioned the specific months that you will be staying here with these dates, and then you have now mentioned the same places and have new dates? Will not that be considered contradictory statement?
That will not be considered, because previously your visa was refused, so now your dates are changed. So you just if you have put the same date in the DS-160 and your visa interviews later, you can update your DS-160, print it, do not submit it, and take it with you and tell the visa officer that at time I was filling my DS-160, my intention was go in August, but because of visa appointment, I could not go, and I have changed my dates. It's same place. I have a new permit. I have a new date of my step 3 examination. Absolutely not. No red flag. As long as you have document to prove previous document that you had which has passed that date, you have a letter of invitation which was previously, but now you have a new letter. As long as you have both things to show that your plan was this, but because of any reason, visa reason can be one thing, interview can be one thing, you can have other, you might have got sick, you got an accident, family member died, things can happen in life. As long as you have a story and you have document to back up your story, you're fine.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I think she's good. All right, so I have a question from the Q&A. Someone's asking, considering the long visa wait times, I applied well in advance, and for my point of contact in the US, I entered information of my cousin who is on a study visa and opted yes. Red flag that I have a cousin there. I also intend to go for observership and step 3. I don't have the letter now, but I intend to get letters before my visa interview.
I think we've answered that question.
Okay, good. How about, I think we already know this answer. Does having multiple accounts on one app like Facebook, but even though they're completely clean, does it create a red flag? And I think you said, doesn't matter how many social media accounts you have as long as they're clean. So
yes,
that's good.
And clean and mention on your application, and you make your list of URL and mention all those social media accounts and give it to visa officer.
Okay, and here's a question, a short one. Are externships allowed on B1, B2? What type of clinical rotations and activities are allowed on a B1, B2?
As long as there's no on-hand training, it's allowed, yes.
Okay, and then someone else is saying, related to B1, B2, I have 5 rejections previously on B1, B2. I have tried both on observership and step 3 basis. My route from the US to somewhere else.
That's enough rejection that you should think about why. There has to be a reason why you get rejected. Can be interview skills, can be something in your background, can be something on your social media account. But if you want to try last time, fine. If you get rejected 6 times, then I would recommend going somewhere else.
Yeah, and the same person is saying I'm currently R2 internal. So I think the answer is the same.
Yes.
Okay, good. So let's go to a live question from, let's see, Muhammad Zavar Asid. Go ahead, ask your question, please.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you so much for this webinar. So I am on H1B visa doing my residency and my visa stamp is expiring in 2 months. Is it safe to visit Pakistan and come back given my visa stamp is expiring in 2 months, given my I-797 and I-797 and passport are valid?
Yes.
Okay. And for my wife on H4, can she enter the US after my visa stamp is expired? Like, can she apply for H4? Or
No.
it has to be valid? The H1 stamp has to be valid for H4?
Yes, it has to be valid.
It has to be valid.
Especially
Okay.
if she's coming for the first time.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Okay, and here's a quick question, a short question. Someone is saying anonymously, I have to sponsor my mom. She's a widow. She has her pension coming through every month. So what can we write in the DS-160? And what should I say in her interview?
The question is, so mother is applying for B1?
Yes. The person is sponsoring, she's saying, I have to sponsor my mom who is a widow and she has a pension coming every month. So what do I write in the DS-160?
So there has to be a reason for her to travel. So I presume this person is either on J1 or H1 visa and they want to bring their parent on visit visa. So there has to be a reason, solid reason, like a graduation or, pregnancy, close to delivery date. In that case, you should get a letter from the OBGYN, show some ultrasound, some lab reports. If there's a graduation, you should get a letter from program that you are graduating on this date and this will be ceremony at this facility, all those documents. And then she should mention that my daughter or my son who is in the United States doing residency, whatever you are doing, they should know where you live, what you're doing. And I want to go to have, she's going to deliver a baby or he or she is graduating. I want to attend that. If that is not the reason, she can try simply that I just want to go see my daughter. She's doing residency. She's not have enough time to travel. So I have financial means to go. Do not plan to stay because I have my house and my other responsibilities. So same ties she will have to show that she will come back. Because if you're on J1 or H1, you can't really keep your parents there. So as long as interview goes well, she has good ties and a good reason to travel to the United States, there should be no problem. Actually, parents get multiple entry visas.
Okay, so now I think the last half hour, the last stretch, Dr. Haroon, why don't you take over?
Yes, sure. So the question is, my husband is applying for the match this year and I'm thinking of applying for a B1, B2 visa for an observership. If he gets matched, would I be able to change his status from B1, B2 to J2 or could that be difficult? And then second part is, would it be better to apply for B1, B2 now or wait after his match results come out?
I think both ways are okay. You can apply for your own B1, B2 and the thing is match and then getting matched and then getting J1, that's like 3 steps. So you should do your B1, B2 and do your observerships you plan to go. But other way, if he does get matched and you are on B1, you can change to J2. I usually do not recommend that, but it's a legal way to do it, change category. Some categories or some countries, they have stopped changing status from one visa to other. So I think you might get into that category. You might not be able to change your status without leaving the country. Now there is a new thing that anytime you want to change your status, you have to go out and get it. But things change in the immigration world, in USCIS, in government of United States, things change. Right now, you should go for B1, B2, then think about other things later on.
Okay, so this next question is from Shazib Khalik. Sir, I have a J1 visa interview for a postdoc. Question number 1 is, I did step 1 and 2, but I haven't done house job. Should I start house job before the interview? If asked about USMLE, should I mention it or focus mainly on my research role?
If it is a paid J1 research, then it's okay to not have a house job because you're going to go work there. But if it's unpaid, it's just really philosophically you should do your house job and then go for apply for any kind of visa. But house job will take 1 year, and maybe this opportunity will go away. If you want to take your chances and be ready to be refused, then you can go without having a PMDC license and without having a house job.
So the other question is, I have an NGO financial sponsorship letter. It includes 2 to 3 phone numbers, email and telephone number, websites of that NGO. Will the visa officer verify only these contacts or other numbers too? Will they verify with the NGO's main branch or the provincial branch that gave me the letter?
Usually the email or the phone number given on the sponsor letter, they do contact them, and they do contact them. So you should let them know that they will get a call from embassy or email, or they might ask for some extra documents like, tax documents, financial statements. So they should be ready for that. So this tells me that he has unpaid J1 research. So it's a less than 50% chance the visa will get approved without PMDC license.
Okay, thank you. Now, next question is a little interesting one. He's a YouTuber who gets paid from YouTube. So the question is, if we have a monetized YouTube channel, should I mention it in the DS 160, or will they ask any questions about it as it could be a red flag as US pays for it in dollars, or we shouldn't post anything when we are in US?
No, that's perfectly all right. You have a skill and you earn on your own. That's a positive thing, not a red flag. And you continue to do that while in the United States. As long as the income comes to Pakistani bank account, you're fine, even in the United States. I know some people who do observership, but they are also continue to do online teaching. As long as income comes to the banks in Pakistan or your home country, you can generate income in the United States. But don't tell the visa officer up front that I plan to go and continue to do. If they ask, they said, no, my main focus is doing my observership.
Yeah. Next question is, if city and state annotation is mentioned, are we allowed to do observership in the outskirts of the county or the same city?
In the same state.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay to do in the same state.
Okay, so this is an anonymous attendee asking question on behalf of a friend who's traveling.
Little bit clarification. If there is a mention of like a Cleveland clinic and city name, and then you have to do in that clinic. If there's a name of the hospital and the city, then you cannot. If I only say observership in Austin, Texas, you can do in another state of Texas city. But if there is a name of the institution or hospital or clinic, then you cannot do in a different clinic or different city.
Okay. Now this is a question. I have a H1B visa's appointment for stamping scheduled, but I unintentionally forgot to mention 2 social media accounts. Do I need to submit DS 160 and take both DS 160 for appointment, or should I just mention during the visa interview?
No. So he used the wrong word, submit. You do not submit a second DS 160. You print it, you edit it, print it, and give to the embassy when you go for fingerprinting or where you give the pictures, and make URLs or your link to all the social media, even those you did not mention, and tell the visa officer that I'm so sorry that it was an honest mistake. I forgot to mention, but I have edited my DS 160, but I did not submit. I have a copy with me, and I have links to those, my social media account, printed on a piece of paper, and I can present to you that paper. If you do all those things, things can happen, mistakes can happen. As long as we bring up ourselves, instead of visa officer asking you, oh, by the way, you have 7 social media accounts, but you mentioned 5. Then you tell the person, oh, I forgot, that can be problematic. But if you upfront bring that situation that, oh, I am so sorry, I forgot to mention, but right now I have those and I'm just declaring those.
So this is the same anonymous attendee that has asked, do multiple prior visa refusals affect your future visa application? And then they also mentioned anonymous that they have 5 rejections previously on B. Well, I think this is a different person. One has 3 refusals and asking what are the future, chances. So if you can answer that.
You need to definitely look at or maybe talk to somebody about your case, look at your social media, look at your affiliation with any organization. Like sometime I give example that if somebody else posted in your Facebook or your social media or you're part of a group, they talk about anti-US, talk about consistently they post videos of violence, igniting violence or taking some kind of revenge, are talking bad about the US policies, even though you are not doing it, that will be considered that you have access to that information. You are part of that mindset. So you need to look at that, why your visa was refused. Maybe you have no good skills for interview, then you can practice that with somebody. So if 5-time refusal, there has to be something wrong. Either interview skills or your background or your documents, or you violated something in the past. Mean your B1 visa you violated or anything, there is going to be something negative. So do not continue to knock the same door after 5-6 rejections.
Okay. If I don't have visa letter for observership but only email confirmation, I think you already answered this question.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum. Are we going to have a session on scholarship opportunities for USMLE journey, as many students are willing to pursue career but not have more opportunities?
Most of the alumni have their scholarship program. APPNA does have scholarship program, and I'm part of that committee. We granted 13 scholarship this year because of limited funds. I have requested president and future president or president-elect to have more funds. Actually, I suggested having at least 10-20% of the each meeting income going to scholarship or loan fund, not scholarship but loan fund, because if you're coming here, you should return that money back. Hopefully, if we have enough funds, we do have some funds from Dr. Mariam Chaukat, who passed away. We collected funds for her treatment. We have around $300,000 in our account. We put in the endowment, but we do not have much income from that because we plan to use income from that endowment to give loans, not the principal. So next year we might have some fund, but hopefully APPNA president, APPNA board of director will give some, instead of doing other social activity or any other project, for one time if they give us a large sum of money we can use for loan, that will be very helpful. But right now APPNA has already done 13 loan. We do not have any scholarship program, it's only loan program. Now APPNA, Fatma Jina, Nishtar, they do have their own loan and scholarship programs. Some smaller alumni unfortunately do not have it, but APPNA is working on it. But right now we do not have any funds for this year. We already granted 13 loans.
Correct. And Dugana also has it.
Yes, Dugana.
I'm aware of. Yeah. So the question is, how long should we wait after a rejection to apply again? Is it a red flag to apply again too soon?
There's no limit. You can apply next day, but I usually recommend at least 2 to 4 weeks.
I see. So I'm the one who has upcoming interview in September with previous refusal. My question is, I had already mentioned step 3 and observership in DS 160 in months of July to September. plans of travel? Will the officer not will the visa officer not ask me why you mentioned the same in previous months and now you're telling me that these are the same letters are for the months from September onwards, as if I get a new permit and observership? I think
Yeah, this is a straightforward question. If you have new needs, you're fine. Yeah.
Yeah. If we selected our sponsor father in DS-160 form, but if he has not have enough money in the bank account, so can I take my sister's bank statement along with it and tell them my sister's also sponsoring me?
Yes. You can have more than one sponsor, or you can change the sponsor as long as the next sponsor is giving you an affidavit letter and source of income reflecting in their bank accounts, and there is enough funds in their bank accounts. You can do that. Yes.
So I'm a graduate of 2024, done with step 1. I filled out DS-160 in July 2026. But at that time, I had no job. So I mentioned unemployed in the form. And now I'm going to start a job in public sector as a medical officer. My interview is scheduled for March 27. How would I mention this in the interview? Can I fill out another DS-160 form?
Yes, you can do that and do not submit, just print it and take it with you. Get a letter from your employer stating that you are currently employed as with this salary, and inform them, their secretary or the person who is writing letter, that they might get a call and they should know that you work here. So they should not say we don't know.
The website does not mention social media accounts be made public for B1, B2. Are you talking about making them public for other visa categories, or is it necessary for B1, B2 as well?
All visa categories.
All.
Yes.
What's better for the one whose step 1 pass, graduated 2 years back, passed step FCPS step 1, but having no funds for observership and travel? Is it better to quit medical officer and start home country residency, or pass step 2 and apply for the match? No funds, having no funds for observership and travel. So they're asking, is it better to quit medical officer and start home country residency, or pass step 2 and then apply for the match?
All options are there. Of course, if you have United States clinical experience, that's better for your chances of getting into matched. But
I'm thinking
get a sponsor. Get a sponsor.
Yes, sponsor, or because they're trying to work as a medical officer to secure some funds. Maybe that's probably what it is. The sponsor is better.
Sure.
Qadri, thank you for the session. I'm a final year medical student, past step 1, applying for B1, B2 visa as a student, and will be going for observership after graduation. What are some important points I need to be careful about, since I will be doing house job as well? Would love to know any red flags I need to avoid. Thank you so much.
Yeah, as I said earlier, complete your house job first and get a PMDC license and then go. That will increase your chances of getting your visit visa.
Now, this is a question. What are the expenses for observerships roughly, and living expenses in the US for 3 months? I'm also government officer in Pakistan, asking this as there are many groups for clinical rotations. They offered for fixed, dollar. Like for example, they ask you to pay for getting the observership. Asking this to have enough, to rough idea, they're asking how much money they should have for 3 months, essentially.
Well, for observership, I don't know, because some clinics or some hospital, especially for elective, they ask a lot of money. That's totally different. And most of APPNA member, they offer observerships free of cost. So but besides the travel expenses and then staying, depend on where you stay. If you're going to stay in a 5-star hotel, you're going to need more money. If you're going to stay with a family member, you might not need money for that. If you're going to eat there, you're going to sleep there. So this is actually personal.
Very good.
$500,000 you need for travel expenses. The rest depends on where you want to stay, how far it is from your observership place, how much time or how much fare you're going to pay. Are you going to use public transport? So it's very hard for one anyone else to tell you according to, you need to look at according to your own situation and accommodation.
Yeah. Housing is the biggest expense. As you mentioned,
Yes.
$500,000 is about 2,000 almost.
Yes.
So I'm doing residency on J1 status. I changed the status B1 to J1 within the US after getting matched. What impact this change of status will have on restamping J1 from Pakistan?
Can you read again? I was
Yeah. So this person is doing residency on a J1 visa, and they got the J1 after changing the status while they were in the US from B1 to J1. What impact will that have after they go back to Pakistan to restamp their visa?
No impact. It's illegal. It's a process through the USCIS. It's allowed. At that time, it was allowed. Sometimes the ECFMG does not allow. They don't give you DS. If it is done by, Department of State, USCIS, and ECFMG, no negative impact. But now you will need to have a visa stamped.
So this is a question from Soha. If a person have an account on social media app and I uninstalled the account 6 years ago and don't receive any notification regarding the account, do I still need to mention that account?
It's better if you have particular, you should mention it.
Zoom user, hello sir, my wife and I are both applying to apply for match together. So in order to do observership, should both of us apply for B1, B2 together or separately?
Either way.
Either way, right?
You have finances and you have letters.
Exactly. Can you please upload this webinar on APPNA YouTube channel? It will be uploaded, just so you know.
Yes.
Next question is, if I get invitation letter from private clinic and get visa rejected, can we apply with the same letter with the dates changed by the clinic manager?
Yes.
Yes.
Tanner Shazad. Bonus Shazad. Or 3.
Hello. जी वेबिनार में जी
कितनी देर लगी
15 मिनट और ठीक
Shazad, thank you for being with us, Dr. Shazad. It's been 2 hours and your expertise, and you are the one who has been answering all questions. We really appreciate it.
Anytime.
Shahzeb Khalid, sir, I have already discussed. I have a J1 visa interview for an unpaid postdoc in November. I haven't done house job. Will they ask for my PMDC provisional license for house job or permanent license after completing house job?
Permanent license.
Permanent license. Is it okay to start a house job in September to October, then attend the visa interview and say I'll resume the remaining house job after returning from the US?
You can do that, but having a license is a big tie for visit visa, even J1 visa these days.
I see. So this question is, I think you have answered before. Few of my social media accounts are not public and my interview is near. Can I do it now? Yes, you can do it now.
Yes. Make a URL, their link, make a list and give it to the visa officer.
Yeah. I have an observership letter of hospitals in Philadelphia. If city is mentioned in annotation, can I do another observership 30 minutes from Philadelphia because the second hospital is not providing the invitation letter? I think you also answered as long as the state is mentioned. But the annotation is city is mentioned. If the city is mentioned, Philadelphia city is mentioned, can they do observership 30 minutes away in the outskirts of Philadelphia?
Yes, as long as there's no institution mentioned, only city you can do it.
Sir, using public transport, sharing rooms with other observership students, trying to be as conducive as possible, roughly what amount should I have per month?
I usually recommend $2,000 and then the travel expenses, your airfare.
Okay. Next one is, thanks for this wonderful session. Direly needed this. And can we have both of these visa sessions recording available? It will be available on APPNA YouTube. Yes, I can tell that.
The previous one is already available, I think, Dr. Samina.
Yes, it's already been posted on APPNAtube.
Okay. The questions on the panel are done. There are a couple of questions on the chat. Hamza Muhammad Jafar, I had my visa approved for September in July, but it was annotated for Orlando. I remained compliant and returned back to Pakistan within the time period 7th August without doing observership. Now that I have got 3 observership letters and applied for emergency appointment request, fortunately it was approved and it is scheduled for Monday 24th August. My question is that will there be any problem since I'm applying again within 16 days? What if they ask me if I'm going to apply for the residency? Do they check the preceptor's profile? And the preceptor profiles are not updated. That's what he's mentioning. Yeah.
They usually check the preceptor profile, whether that person is working there. If recent change, it's okay. But if they have changed to new place, new hospital, few years back and not updated, that can be problematic. I don't understand that why he did not do observership. He came and left. There should be a solid reason, maybe a letter from that preceptor, maybe he got sick, any medical record. We need to give a solid reason that you came to United States, even though you complied what you were supposed to and you returned on time, but why he or she did not complete observership. That can be a problem. They should get a letter from the preceptor. Whatever the reason was, they could not accommodate, somebody got sick, there was an accident. There has to be a reason, and that should be a good explanation.
Azizullah Khan, I'm on J1 and my family has applied for J2. I have 5 kids and spouse. Keeping my income here, what are my chances for them to get J2 visa? J2 appointment is next year. Can they apply for expedited appointment if I get support letter from my program for J2?
Yes, they can. These days, easily available emergency appointment. Actually, they're getting in August and September because Karachi and Islamabad both are functional. That big family with the resident income, less likely to get approved. Maybe spouse only can come. If kids can stay with grandparents, it is a very touchy and very difficult situation, and we're working on with State Department and Embassy, but we have not got any assurances. I'm working on the case with this girl with 2 kids. She wants to bring them on. I'm trying to get their visas approved, but I have no luck yet. So I cannot really say that they will get visa because there are 5 members and with income of $60,000, depending on where they live. They live in Boston or New York, forget it. If they live in Missouri somewhere, maybe. So they compare at the wherever they are going to stay, how much income is needed to take care of 5 family members.
Maybe they get tips from the previous person who's living conjuice.
Yes. Well, that was my point with talking with Embassy, that please let them know that, you know, how they live. I know families living in 1-bedroom apartment and they can sleep in the same bed. This is not uncommon for Pakistani culture. Kids and parents sleeping in the same room. If they think they have 3 kids, so they need 5 rooms. No, not really. They don't need 5 rooms. They can sleep in 1 room or even studio. So I'm trying to explain that it is acceptable in our culture.
Okay, this the last question of the Q&A. What's better, sir, applying for match in internal medicine or doing internal medicine home country and then applying for fellowship in the US? So pros and cons, what's better?
Well, if your score is good, then you should apply for internal medicine residency. If your graduation is recent, you should apply for residency. And if not, then yes, doing 2-year clinical, 2-year or 3-year in your home country clinical experience, and then applying for fellowship, especially ID, rheumatology, and nephrology. They're easily available, so they can. And then there's alternate pathway that you can get a job without even doing residency or fellowship in the United States if you have 2 to 3 years of home experience in that specialty.
So Habiba, to everyone, please raise hand. We can have you live, Habiba. This will be the last question, and then we'll sum up and close. Habiba?
Okay, you're unmute. Habiba, go ahead with your question. Unmute yourself.
Please unmute yourself.
Go ahead, please. Okay, Habiba, we unmuted you. Please go ahead with your question.
Muted again.
Yeah. Okay. I think either she can write it in the chat or then we'll have to wrap up.
So while she's waiting, I can have some things I
Sure.
want to convey to the audiences, and they can convey to their friends. I get lots of messages and people want me to tell them what time they can call. I usually do not talk on phone for personal reasons, and I protect my my social status. Nothing against one person. I try to avoid talking, having phone calls. You can directly message me and I will try to respond. And if you have a question, please try to make it brief. Sometimes I get like 2-page long question. I'm a human being. I'm not ChatGPT, believe me. And I am a family person. I have my business. I have my practice. I have, a lot of responsibilities. I am on board of governors on certain associations. I'm a KEMKANA Foundation chairperson. So all the projects, they are done by KEMKANA in Pakistan. I oversee those. So a lot of responsibilities. I still try to do my best. And please do not argue. If you ask me a question, I give you answer. Then don't try to say what if or what. I gave you my opinion, and if you don't agree, you can seek another opinion. Don't say that that person has done this and that person has done. I try to briefly answer your question. You're not the only one person I'm answering question, and it's free service, volunteer service, and don't push me to the edge that I stop doing it, because sometimes I get that feeling that people start arguing with me that why and this and that person is done. Things change every day. Embassy rules, Department of State rules, ECFMD rules, they're constantly changing. Something happened a year ago, it has no value right now. I try to be up to date on my information, and I provide all my services free of cost. And if somebody charges you for me that we're going to connect you to Dr. Shahzad, that's a fake thing. I have heard that story too, that some agents, they want me to connect you with me and they're asking money. I do not have any agent. I don't have anybody that who work on my behalf. I am not a lawyer. I'm a doctor. I have been doing this service for free for our young physicians, for our community. And if somebody wants money on my behalf, that's not true. I do not authorize anybody to charge anything for my services.
Okay, so thank you so much, Dr. Shahzad. As we conclude today's seminar, I want to thank everyone who joined us, especially the students and graduates, coming to the US or aspiring to coming to the US to gain clinical experience and residencies. We recognize that this journey can be very challenging and daunting, and visa, you might face visa refusals, appointment delays, some what we call AP or administrative processing, or difficulty obtaining the dates for observerships. As many of you have mentioned, you had your previous dates, it needs to be updated. I know that these challenges can be discouraging, but this should not define your future. Preparation, accurate documentation, and honesty during the visa interview are extremely important. While there is no document that can guarantee visa approval, but presenting a clear and genuine purpose for travel and can strengthen your application. With that, I would like to sincerely thank our expert panelist, Dr. Fateh Shahzad, for his sharing his valuable knowledge and practical guidance. I'm also grateful to Dr. Samina Qureshi for her great contribution. She's a chair of the academic for the advocacy committee and has provided this platform to us. And APPNA President Babar Rao, who has been phenomenal in doing this. We hope today's session has provided clarity, encouragement, and practical direction. Please continue to seek reliable guidance. And thank you again for joining. And please be sure that all those recording for today and the recording for the previous event was also posted on APPNAtube.
Thank you very much, Dr. Haroon. Again, my thanks to Dr. Fateh Shahzad, Dr. Haroon for helping me host this webinar. And I think it's been immensely helpful. As you know, this was part 2 was done because of huge demand and multiple requests. So thank you for your time on a Saturday morning for 2.5 hours. This really takes a lot of dedication to contribute just a volunteer time. As you know, we're all very busy physicians. My colleagues are very renowned in their respective fields. So thank you very much. As well, I'd like to remind all of the attendees to take advantage of all of the Advocacy Committee webinars that are on APPNAtube. We've had previous webinars where we've had an immigration attorney along with Dr. Fateh Shahzad. We've had multiple other webinars discussing specifics, pitfalls to avoid during residency interviews. So I'm sure all of the vast topics that we covered will be very relevant to you, and it would be prudent to sort of listen to those webinars. So have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you again. Goodbye.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Thank you.